You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
There's so many possibilities.
Yeah.
And you just, this is uncharted territory to a certain extent. So many times it's a no-brainer, which isn't a bad thing from that standpoint. It's like, hey, you got somebody really good. This conversation, though, is because you have so many guys that have showed up and have played well and have made plays. But the answer is Jacob Rodriguez. Okay, that's so. I think the best way to approach it, at least for the way I would discuss, is that okay, who else? Because he's the no-brainer, and I think most valuable, best, because I think your ends have both been really good and as advertised, and what all they do doesn't like show up in a stat sheet because they are showing up in the whole QB pressure category, like leading like two of the top 5 in the country. I think John Curry has been like playing with his hair on fire. He's just all over the place. I think, and Joey continues to call him out, making us look really smart for how we talked about him in the summertime. I think Lee deserves, like, what he's doing doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but like he's allowing your linebacking group to do what they're doing, because he's just like, hey, give me one offensive lineman, give me another. You don't guys get to go anywhere. I'm just going to try to win, and like everybody behind me, go do your thing. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm just Bryce Pollock. I mean, how could you? I mean, when's the last time you had a kind of a corner like that was just a ball hawk? I think Ben Roberts has played a lot better than people realize. I mean, he forced one of those fumbles the other day. He had a lot to do with Utah not being able to run the ball. So I just
have you named 11 yet?
Because where's the weakness? I mean, Brendan Jordan, he was speaking to the media after the game against Utah because he was so good on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
In the biggest of moments. He was so good. So we're close to naming.
Balfour's making some plays.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
And none of them have been perfect, but I just think that your heart and your leadership and kind of the guy that just kind of stirs the drink, if you will, is J-Rod, if you will. And I asked, I'm like, okay, I think I know the answer here. Just curious, and I got some opinions back, and I again, I didn't want to overthink it, and it's Jacob Rodriguez. But I think that your edges, I think your entire defensive line, I think Bryce all deserve some mention there too. If you're trying to pick out one after 4 games, yeah.
First, today's episode brought to you by Square. Your favorite neighborhood spots run on Square. There are certain businesses that truly make the neighborhood feel like home, whether it's the local sports bar, the coffee shop, or the corner store that's been serving your neighborhood for decades. These are the kind of places that bring people together. And when neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world, including some local favorites in the 806 like Shadow Hills Golf Course, The Outdoor Chef, Quarter Ford, Lubbock Welding Supply, Sugar Bakers, and a whole lot more. You can go to square.com/go/lockedoncollege to learn more today. But before you do, go support your favorite local spot. Powered by Square. See you in the neighborhood. I think I would go with the refrigerator. I think I'd go with number 2 because I believe he directly allows Jacob Rodriguez to be the best Jacob Rodriguez can be. Jacob Rodriguez was a part of this defense last year, and the defense didn't look like it does this year. So what has changed most significantly, in my opinion, would be number 2 up front, and his cohorts, his colleagues in the law firm, Hunter, Holmes, Gil, Howard, and the defensive ends, and the other interior linebacker, and the star, and the ball-hawking cornerbacks, and the reliable safeties. I know I've gotten to 11. How about some depth pieces? Should I name 15? I think the other option has to be Lee Hunter if it's not Jacob Rodriguez. You guys tell us how you see it. Agree or disagree in the YouTube comments. Shoot us a text if you are a Matador mobster. It's a personnel theme sort of on the show today, Chris. Can we look back for just a moment? Because we've got some information to process that may have just kind of not necessarily gotten on Red Raider fans' radars as we leave Utah to the dustbin of history and move on with our lives. But we are, as Big 12 football fans, experiencing something for the first time this time around that we're not necessarily accustomed to, how it's going to go or what's required, and that's the conference-mandated availability report. Utah's got some attention last week. It was very light, one category initially, then you had another category, whatever. I said last week I'd probably play the same stupid reindeer games if I was the coach just because, well, screw you, what do I need to tell you? So that's kind of where I identify with. Many others do not identify with that, and they are bristling at this. Now, that was before we actually learned that Utah's quarterback, Devin Dampier, according to their head coach following the tail kicking, did not practice at least 2 days last week. He never appears on any injury or availability report in any category. Maybe something convenient to say after you lose by 24 at home. I'm not quite sure. But, Chris, I'm very curious to hear your reaction to this because I know that you've also likely heard reaction internally to this from those who are required to abide by some of these things. So how's this big matzo ball sitting with you with all information considered?
Well, I think he did, I think he was limited in practice Tuesday and Wednesday, I think is what Kyle, I think, unless maybe you're right and he just didn't practice. Either way, why is he not on the report? Why is he not listed at the very minimum probable? So here's all the things that are going on up there, because I think this is a big story up in Salt Lake.